Hi there. In today's video, I want to show you how to reference using Zotero. Zotero is an electronic referencing assistant that helps students to reference articles, books, journals, online materials faster. Now, referencing can be complicated for many people. Look at APA, MLA, Harvard, Chicago, among others, and each of them have different rules. So you'd have to memorize a lot, you'd have to practice a lot to be able to get each and every material and how it's supposed to be referenced in a distinctive referencing style. So in this video, I'll take you step by step on how to use Zotero to make your referencing work as a student easier, faster, and accurate. Let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is go to your browser and search Zotero. So you get many results. Focus on the one written Zotero connector. Click on it. So it doesn't matter the browser you're using. You could be using Chrome, you could be using Safari, Mozilla, among others. So these two download buttons are important based on the computer you're using. Now, this first one is a standalone application that is going to download and it will be installed in your computer. The second download required is an extension. So an extension is a small app that appears in your browser. So it will not be a standalone app. So it will appear among, so these are examples of some extensions that I have. Now this is the one that will appear as Zotero, as you can see here. It's indicated save to Zotero. Now all these two connectors are playing different functions and they cannot work effectively without each other. That does not mean you cannot use this without this, but you cannot use the extension without the standalone application. So you download this one first. It will require you to register, put your email, and that's it. Then you download the extension. This will be placed in your browser. Again, it doesn't matter the browser you're using, it doesn't matter the computer you're using, all of them are going to function the same. Now the first thing you want to do is to learn how to reference effectively using these two applications of Zotero. Remember, they are not two different applications. They are just two parts of an application that complement each other. So yes, you can use this without this, but it will be more effective if you combine and download. Yes, we already have a Zotero here. And you want to write a paper. And the question now comes in, how do I reference? I want to reference a certain journal, a certain book, a certain online resource. And the first way that you can reference this is by adding the reference manually. So if you already have a reference, you can add the reference manually. So I'll Google one reference and then I'll show you how it works. So now we have two peer-reviewed references that we want to reference in our paper. We have this one on marketing, and we also have another one on marketing, the importance of marketing. So in our Zotero here, we can add these two references manually. Now the first thing you need to do is to come to this plus button. So you obviously know these are articles, and this one is also an article, but they are called journal articles. So you come here to this add button and you're going to select journal article. Now if you're dealing with a book, you're going to write a book. If you're dealing with a book chapter, you're going to write a book chapter. Now if you have more than that, if you click more, you're going to see all these categories. We have blog posts, we have emails, we have film, we have podcast, we have TV, broadcast, among others. So in academic arena, most of the time you're going to use books and journal articles. Now in our case, we have two journal articles, and I want to show you step by step on how you can add them manually. Now once you click add button and you select journal article, we are going to have this pop-up section where you can fill the information manually. Now this asks for the title of the journal. So you come here to the title of the journal. You can take the title of the journal as it is, or you can type. Remember, when you're typing a title of the journal, always ensure you don't put mistakes. It has to be very accurate. Then you come to the author. Author here you have given very good guidance that you're supposed to provide the last name and then you're supposed to provide the first name. So the last name and the first name. Now this is generally the basic manual referencing using Zotero. So the publication here is the date, if there is a volume, if there is an issue, if the page numbers are indicated, the date when it was published, the series title, series text, journal abbreviation, language, DOI. Now DOI is another important part you're going to look at. Now DOI is a link that is always provided in most of the peer-reviewed articles. So you're supposed to take your DOI and insert it in this field. So I'll not focus too much on this area because this is basically adding the information as you see it on an article that you already have. I want to focus on more dynamic ways of referencing using Zotero, the simplest and the dynamic ways. Now this is the manual way. In this manual way, everything is simple because you're just copying everything as it is. But I want us to focus on something quicker and accurate. So if you use this button, you're going to add the first method of referencing is called manual. Now the second method of referencing is by using the electronic document identifiers such as DIO, ISSN number for the books and so on and so forth. As you can see here, any document that you have and has any of these numbers or links, you can put them directly here and Zotero is going to generate the reference for you. For example, if you go to our document, the one that we're using in our case, we have a DIO here. If you go to the other document that we got, we also believe there is a DIO here. So this is a DIO link. So you just take the link as it is, don't edit anything, and then you copy it, you come back to your Zotero. Instead of clicking here now, you're going to click this pen with an addition, and it will give you a space for you to paste the DIO link. You just paste the DIO link and you click enter. Now once it is processing, don't interrupt it. It is normally very quick, as you can see. It has already provided the return for the document you are trying to reference. You see here it is the importance of marketing strategy. As you can see here, that's how the topic starts. The importance of marketing strategy and so on and so forth. Now we have already fed that document into our Zotero. The second step is to add the next document into our Zotero, and as I have said, it's very simple. Just copy the DIO, copy for that particular document, go to your Zotero, click this pen with the plus sign here, it will give you a space, just paste the document, the link there, and then you click to search. It will search the document very fast. Like right now it has already returned, as you can see. Now we have two different articles. Now we have two active references on our Zotero. Now the question comes in, how do we add it now into the Word document? Now before we get there, remember I explained to you there are three methods of feeding references into your Zotero such that you'll be able to access them in your document. And I said, just to remind you, that the first method is manual. You click this button and you manually add the information based on the type of the article or the type of the material. The second one is to use the DIO, the ISSN, among others, document identifiers. And then the other method is even simpler. This is where you go to the article you want. Remember the second connector I told you is very important. Now this connector is an extension, it's a browser extension, and I told you to normally appear here at the top. So if you click here, you see the connector is changing. You click here, it's the same. So when it has a page-like appearance, it means that it has the page you opened to has referenceable materials that can be used by a student. That means there are some content that you can simply save directly. So once you're on this page, instead of taking too much time copying the DIO and doing other things, just click on this, telling you it's saving, it's already saved, as you can see here. If you come to Zotero, then you come to new library, you realize now they are 4. And they are 4 because they have just been duplicated. As you can see here, importance of marketing activity, importance of marketing activity, importance of marketing strategy, importance of marketing strategy. So they have been duplicated because we have performed actions twice, but using 2 different routes. So Zotero referencing can be approached from 3 perspectives. The first one, enter the details manually. Enter the details using the unique document, online document identifier, and the other way is by using your extension, your browser extension, which normally appear at the top right hand corner of your browser. Doesn't matter the browser you're using, all of them are going to appear here. So we already have the references. What is the next step? Now the next step is to reference these materials onto our Word document. Now let's assume we have some content in our Word document and we want to reference that content. So this is the content that we have. This is some dummy content that we have, and we want to reference the 2 articles that we have already fed into our Zotero. So the first thing you want to do is to put the cursor where you want to reference. Now, traditionally, once you install the 2 extensions that I talked about here, they are going to prompt you to extend or to allow your Word document to access the Zotero function. Now, as you can see here, these ribbons are a bit different. You can see this Zotero here. Now, this is not complicated. The moment you install these 2, they are going to prompt you to install the Word document extension here. And what you want to do here is you put the cursor where you want to put the reference. Then you go to edit, put citation. Now, this is another very important part where you select the citation style. As I started the video, I said there are so many styles of citation. The most common ones are Harvard, APA, MLA, Chicago, among others. There are so many of them. So we are going to identify the referencing style that is required for your case. Let's say in our case, we're going to use APA, and it's so simple. You just click APA, and then you click OK. So it has already identified that it wants to use APA. Now, it will prompt you with this space where you can enter the information. Now, you can either decide to enter the information by you start by typing, you don't have to type everything. You just type maybe the first or the second word, the first and the second word and the third word. And it's going to prompt you all the references that are on your Zotero list. Supposing now you don't remember any of the references and how they start, there's no problem. Just click on this arrow and click Classic View. Classic View will prompt you to this view here that takes you directly into your library. And in your library, you want to select the reference that you believe is reflected by the content that you want to cite. Remember, this is called in-text citation. And in-text citation can be in different forms. I'm going to explain in a bit. So you select the reference that you want to use and click OK. So Zotero will automatically reference that particular material based on the referencing style that you chose. Now, there's another way you can reference in-text citation. So in-text citation can be done in 3 different ways. One of the ways is where you put the reference at the beginning here. The second way is when you put the reference inside the sentence, not at the end of the sentence and not at the beginning of the sentence. So you put it inside the sentence. For example, when you put it somewhere here where I'm trying to put the cursor. And the third way is when you put reference at the end of a sentence. Doesn't need to be the end of a paragraph, but necessarily at the end of a sentence. So you can reference the in-text citation can be at the beginning of a sentence, in the middle of a sentence, and at the end of a sentence. Now Zotero is going to reference all that for you accurately. You just need to put the cursor where you want to reference your your journal, your book, your online material, your periodicals, among others. Now, once you have your reference there, you want to continue writing your work, continue writing, and then if you have another space where you want to reference again, let's say you want to reference the second article here, so you're going to put the cursor there, and then you go back to the same point where you have the button for add, edit, citation, you click. Okay, this thing will appear again. I told you the simplest way is you either type here if you can remember how the journal is titled. If you don't, click this arrow and select classic view. Classic view will display all the references that you have. Now what you want to do is you just select one and then you click OK, and then it will provide the reference there for you, and you continue. Now remember, you also need to know some basic. You normally don't start a reference with a bracket unless it's at the end of a sentence. So you have according to the importance of marketing, blah, 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 and then you continue. The year is 2016, it's supposed to be in bracket. Those are just basic. You can learn them in the process. Then you start your sentence is supposed to start like that, and then you continue referencing. Now once you're done with your referencing work, even if you have used 10 articles, 5 articles, 20 articles, you come here at the bottom. Now if you are working with APA, it's called references. If you are working with MLA, it's called work cited, or if there are many references, works cited. If you are working with Harvard, they are called reference list. If you are working with Chicago and among others, they are called bibliography, or the list of references. Now in our APA case, we are calling them references. Then you have it like that, and then the work will be very simple. Now don't use this, you're going to use this to edit, add or edit bibliography. You click there, and Zotero will automatically provide accurate referencing for your articles that are used here. Notice, for a reference to appear at the bottom, or what you call the bibliography section, it must be within the body. If you don't put it inside the body, it will not appear once you click bibliography sections. So I hope that is clear. So it's as simple as that. So once you have your articles inside the body of your text, that's what we call index citation. It will be very easy for you to reference them at the bottom here, how they're supposed to be. And it is as simple as that. So using Zotero can be a very direct, accurate, and simple way for any student, any professional who want to reference accurately. And as I have explained, the process is so simple. What you just need to do, if I may take you through a recap, is download these two. Once you download them, they are going to prompt you to register. It's 100% free. You just need to put an email, and then you have it active, and it will be something like this, but it will be empty because you not have generated anything. So it will look like this. It will be an empty shell like this. So this is how it will appear generally. Now this is the case for this. Now what you also need to install this into your Chrome connector. If it's not Chrome, it's Safari. If it's not Safari, it's Mozilla. If it's not Mozilla, it's any other browser that you have is going to connect, and it will appear as an icon like this. Once you have this, it's very simple. What you need to do is start writing, do your research, and then once you've done your research, you'll only be clicking on this icon, and it will send this reference accurately directly into your Zotero library. And from your Zotero library, you'll be able to access it from your Word document, and you have this tab will be added as you continue writing. When you reach the point where you want to reference, you'll be putting the cursor where you want to reference, go to edit, add or edit citation, click on it. You click on it, it will bring this enter button or a space button. Then you start typing the title. If you don't know the title, no harm. Click the arrow, classic view. It will show you all the references that you have. Now mine have already deleted. You cannot see them again. I've already deleted them. Then you select the reference you want. add the other reference, add the other reference, add the other reference. At the bottom, when you want to provide the bibliography, that's where you're going to click the bibliography section here, and it will generate all the references for the materials that you have used inside the text. It's as simple as that. There you have it, the tutorial for Zotero for student and professional. So I hope it was clear. If you have a question, put it in the comment section, and probably I can clarify some of the things I've done that I've explained a bit faster. Thank you.